Let's take a look at Monday in the NBA. We're going to preview it. You're going to make moves. There are 8 games on. Michael Bolton.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy, your daily NBA fantasy podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd, and you have drawn my grand agenda nearer to fulfillment. I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and you can find me on Blue Sky at joshloyd.bsky.social, on Twitter at redrock_bball, on TikTok at redrock_bball, and on Instagram at Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Today's episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. Also, check out LockedOnDaily.com. Sign up, newsletter. It's free. It's your favorite team. It's also free to subscribe and to double bang here. Watch the audio, listen to the video, or actually do the reverse of those because they probably make a little bit more sense to do it in that direction. All right, we're here for Monday. There are 8 games on Monday. I'm just checking the times of those. Yeah, we're back to a 7 p.m. start on Monday, so we're going to get into those. We're talking about the games there for World Tuberculosis Day. Hopefully none of you are suffering through tuberculosis at the moment. But if you are, it's the day for us to acknowledge that it's a pretty bad disease. All right, let's get in. Let's talk streaming. Well, actually, no, let's start with the schedule. That's how we usually start these shows, isn't it? Let's take a look at the back-to-back situation, because we've got a lot of teams coming in on a back-to-back, and then 3 of them on the Monday, Tuesday. So the ones that are coming in Sunday to Monday, it's important because there's a lot of rest going to happen here. Boston Celtics, Denver Nuggets, New Orleans Pelicans, Philadelphia 76ers, and Toronto Raptors. So there are problems with every team there. We have seen the absences in Boston already for today. So they are without, for Sunday that is. For Sunday, Boston is without Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, and Porzingis. So tomorrow they're going to be without Horford. Brown, who knows whether he plays. Tatum could sit as well. Denver is going to be without Nikola Jokic for both games, and I would expect that Aaron Gordon could sit on Monday, maybe Jamal Murray. The Pelicans, Zion is out on, or didn't play on Sunday, and then you've got, I see he might play Monday, but then you've got CJ McCollum, and then you've got Bruce Brown, and does Kelly Olynyk play both games? The Sixers, I don't expect anyone to come back, so the one you got to watch is what do they do with Yabusele, and then does that mean we get Boner time? Maybe. And then in Toronto, it's anything, absolutely anything is possible with the way the Raptors could run this. We know that I'm just looking up today's games and who is in there. So for them today, there's no Ingram. They're giving an update in 10 days for Ingram, by the way. He is not playing. This is the most obvious thing of all time. He's not playing. Anyway, Pirtle and Quickly were out today. So does that mean that Barrett is out tomorrow and those guys return? Don't know. These are the things we've got to try and not even figure out because honestly, I don't know that you can. I think a lot of the times you're going to be chasing shadows and it's going to be tough to try and figure it out. Monday, Tuesday, back-to-backs, 3 teams. Dallas, Orlando, and Sacramento. Dallas, Anthony Davis is doubtful for Monday, so I don't think he's going to play, but you got to look at Kai Jones there. You got to look at, not Kessler Edwards, he cannot play both games. Brandon Williams, although his role will be limited. It's more the Najee Marshalls and Spencer Dinwiddie's and Max Christie's and Kai Jones as your options there. Magic, it's Cole Anthony that we just need to watch on him. And then Sacramento, I think we're pretty okay back-to-back worry-wise. Let's look at some chunks Monday through Friday, which teams and which players are likely to play 3 games that we can take a look at. We go to Indiana, Aaron Nesmith and Andrew Nembhard are going to be worth looking at. In Orlando, Wendell Carter Jr., who again is a tough one to look at as a just hold all the time, but when the schedule works, the schedule works. I've got Jackson Hayes there for the Lakers, 3 games in 5 nights. I'm very much in on him being at least usable through that period. And then a couple of Dallas guys, Max Christie and Kai Jones. And yes, I do understand that Davis may return. He also might not. He also might not play in these 3 games, but I think Jones is going to be able to do enough. Their other center is Dwight Powell. So I think there will be enough minutes, at 24 minutes or so there of Kai, to be able to be useful enough. At least you get 1 start out of him, maybe 2, maybe 3. And then Christie coming off the bench, well, he is, as we know, very, 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 very inconsistent. Let's look at some injury statuses that we do need to be aware of for Monday. Rui Hachimura returned. He wasn't good. He played 17 minutes and he's questionable again. He said he was at running, I think, 70-80% health, which is obviously not great. We do not bother rostering Rui Hachimura at this point. Not only is he not a good category league player, but the value of Rui needs somebody being out and him getting a lot of usage, and nobody is out, and he is the guy that may not even start. He's going to play low minutes. He's going to sit a back-to-back. We don't bother with that. Cole Anthony's a big one because if he is out, then deeper leagues can stream Corey Joseph or Mr. Black. But if Anthony plays, then we're interested, but I don't think he plays both, so that becomes tough. Anthony Edwards popped up on the injury report. That's interesting. I don't think that's... I'm not super worried about it, but obviously we've got to pay attention. And they're against Indiana, so it's not a terrible team they're playing. It's a good team. So that's interesting. If he is out, then obviously you get the big Dante bump, you get a Jaden bump, you get a Naz Reid bump, you get Jalen Clark and Terrence Shannon bumps. We've got to watch it. Ben Matherin's questionable. If he is out, then Neesmith and Nembhard jump up. The Raptors, like I just said, I just don't know. We've got Pirtle and Quickly out today. Does that mean Barrett's out tomorrow? Do both of those guys, Quickly and Pirtle, play Monday? I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. D'Angelo Russell and Zaire Williams have appeared as questionable for the Nets. Russell sat the last game, so did Williams. Are they listing them questionable because it's actually an injury? I don't know. If they're out, you've seen guys like Tyrese Martin, you've seen guys like Trendon Watford step up into larger roles. It becomes very difficult to know, though, if these guys are going to play, because if they do play, it squishes a lot of other stuff down. I mentioned Anthony Davis already. He is doubtful for Monday. So, again, if you do want to pick him up, I get it. It's Anthony Davis. You probably should do that. And he maybe plays on Tuesday. But, again, the Mavericks have been very, very, very weird, clearly, with injury reporting, but just everything about their team. So I'm not going to sit here and think that it's all systems go. The Pelicans, Zion out Sunday, probably plays Monday, but CJ's been sitting back-to-back, so he's probably out Monday. Bruce Brown sat back-to-backs, he's probably out Monday. Kelly Olynyk sometimes sits back-to-backs, and then sometimes sits non-back-to-backs, and then sometimes plays back-to-backs. So I don't know, but I'm going to tell you, I'm not certain that he's going to be available. So we're going to watch that one. Jokic is going to be out, it seems, on Monday. Aaron Gordon on the back-to-back we need to watch. And then the Celtics. Does Tatum and Horford sit? Is Jaylen Brown still out? I expect Drew and Porzingis to return, but I don't know. We just don't know the way that they're going to handle that in terms of their statuses. Malik Monk missed the last game with an illness. If he is out, Keon Ellis is the guy to look at. Sabonis will still be out. And then Dame Lillard has missed 2 in a row. I did not think that he would sit that second one. I thought that it was just a precautionary thing. Maybe it sort of is, but that was a little bit of a weird one. And also, the thing is, this is where we can go wrong in fantasy through literally no fault of our own. Damian Lillard sat a game. Ryan Rollins played 30 minutes, and Kevin Porter Jr. played 18. I go, okay, that's, I guess, what you're doing. The very next game, Kevin Porter plays 29 minutes, and Ryan Rollins plays 20. And you go, why would I have possibly seen that coming? You couldn't have, and that makes it really tough to try and pin your hopes on A, Lillard being out, and then which one of Rollins or Porter it's going to be. You just don't know. In Phoenix, Nick Richards didn't play in the last game, so we've got 44 minutes of Osa Ighodaro, so we need to check on Richards' status. Not that he's anything like a must, but there is streaming value there. And then Grayson Allen being out means that Gillespie and Jones and O'Neal and Dunn can all do more. Allen's been one of those ones who was just insanely ranked at the start of the season and was never going to be able to live that number up, and now is piled on poor minutes and poor form with injuries, and that's been a real downer. He's not someone we look to grab. I'm pretty sure you know that, though. Today's episode, it is brought to you by Monarch Money. When you go in and check your bank account, the most top 5 common responses from 100 people surveyed said that the response is, where'd the money go? Between dining out, online shopping, entertainment, whatever it is that you're doing, it can be easy to lose track of that money. That's where Monarch Money comes in. It's your personal CFO giving you full visibility and control over your finances. It's not just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center tracking all of your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So you stop just managing your money and start building wealth. All-in-one convenience. Everything is there. All the apps, all of the different banks, all that, all of your money things in one spot. Instead of having to log into individual things to track it, it's all tracked in that one spot. So take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That is monarchmoney.com. The code is LOCKEDONNBA for half off your first year. Okay, let's get into some streaming action now. We'll do points, we'll do category leagues, starting off the week to hopefully hit the right moves. The problem here on this Sunday and Monday, more importantly, on the Monday, is that there are so many of the teams that we just hate looking at playing. The Pelicans, what are they going to do on a back-to-back? The Raptors, the Celtics are all over the shop. The Sixers are playing. Like, what do we do with these guys? It's really hard to be able to pin that stuff down when you look at the teams playing. Like, the reliability level is low. Like, I look at the teams that are there. Okay, the first couple of games, Lakers, Magic, fine. Wolves, Pacers, easy. Then Dallas and Brooklyn, okay. Philadelphia, New Orleans, oh my God, that is going to be dreadful. Chicago, Denver, pretty secure. Boston, Sacramento, pretty okay. And then Milwaukee, Phoenix. But you got a couple of games in the middle there. Dallas, Brooklyn, Philadelphia, New Orleans, where it's just anything can go. Honestly. I missed that. Toronto, Washington. Oh my God. Toronto, Washington as well. So we've got Toronto, Washington, Philadelphia, New Orleans, Dallas, Brooklyn. They probably the 6 worst teams in trying to figure out rotations and all the things they do. Maybe. And they're all playing each other. Yuck. So let's take a look at some Yahoo points streaming options that we can take a look at. You're hitting different roster percentage numbers. And I talked about this on the Waiver Wire show earlier today, where the Yahoo percentage numbers, they're sort of tough to figure out. Like, tell me why Quentin Grimes sits at 65% rostered. Okay, and you could say, you could have 2 reactions to that. I look at that and go, nobody was rostering him. So he's up to 65 now, meaning that 65% of leagues still active? Maybe. But then why was he added today in 1,200 leagues? What the hell were those leagues doing? So I'm using 30s and 20s and 10s as percentage cutoffs to hit different leagues, but obviously, evidently, players like Grimes are still available and people are still adding him, and I don't get it. But I can't cater to every single person, so we're still going to use those cutoffs. I'm just letting you know. Kevin Huerter, game wasn't too good last time out. He played 33 minutes as a starter, and that's really what we want. So I like him here. Chuma Okeke. It is the final day of his 10-day contract. I don't know whether they'll extend him or not, but I expect that with Yabusele likely out, that he is going to be usable. And I believe O'Shea Brissett's 10-day runs out Sunday. So he may not even play on Monday, Brissett. So that should be able to help Okeke do a little bit more, but we just don't know. Carlo Makovic in New Orleans. Will Yves Misi play? He was out on Sunday. Makovic played only 16 minutes, but foul problems limited him. But is CJ out? Is Brown out? What happens with Zion? How much does Carlo play? Does Olynyk play? There are lots of ways that can go in his favor, but it could also not. Justin Edwards, you feel the role is sort of secure, but also it's Philadelphia. I've got Jose Alvarado and Jordan Hawkins there as options as well. 31 minutes on Sunday for Hawkins and 28 for Alvarado. That's good enough, and I expect that CJ and Brown are both out on Monday. CJ played 37 on Sunday. So it's a messy time, and the problem you have with the 6 worst teams all playing on the same day for rotation guesses, you're going to have a lot of stuff go wrong, or you can't avoid it. For ESPN points, a lot of the same names are going to be there. Huerter and Edwards, and Okeke and Alvarado and Makovic. But I will throw Aaron Nesmith into that mix as well, especially with some doubts surrounding Benedict Mathurin, who is questionable for the game. There's no guarantee that he's going to be available there, and that would just give a couple of extra shots, a couple of extra minutes to Nembhard and to Nesmith and to Ben Shepherd, who doesn't really matter. But options available there. Again, we just need to be on top of what is happening. There are going to be options available to stream in. There are going to be quite a few of them. But figuring out who they are and when they happen is tough. So plan out what you're doing for the week, and maybe you wait until later in the day to make your moves, because I'm going to guess at this point of the year, there's not as many teams active in your league because they're eliminated and the playoffs have been wound down. So you're not going to have as much competition. So versus trying to add someone and then you find a random starter jumps back in ahead of them and then they're limited, maybe you want to wait on those. Now, obviously with Fab, it becomes difficult, or more difficult to do that, but we can, we want to see what information we can get. It is tough. It is the guys that are secure there, like Kevin Huerter, secure in terms of role. I would say that Alvarado, well, maybe he's not even secure. Nesmith's probably pretty secure. Edwards is sort of secure, but Okeke, Alvarado, Makovic, maybe not. Jose sort of is, although it's a back-to-back. They could just sit him. That's also an unbelievably random and possible scenario that could happen, which again would be annoying, but this is what happens in March. We'll talk category leagues and the streams we can do there coming up. We might as well get into that and do that right now. The points and threes streamers for category leagues. I'm going to go to Jordan Hawkins. Again, this is working under the assumption that CJ McCollum is out. think it's a fair assumption. He's sat both the last two back-to-backs and then played 37 minutes on Sunday. So I think that that's a fairly good assumption. Kevin Huerter, again, solid floor, really strong floor. No one's changing things in Chicago. Jose Alvarado, Ricky Council, iffy, very iffy. No idea what Council's going to do. He can have a big game, he can have a terrible one. He's going to be in the rotation at least. Max Christie, who could play 36 minutes or could play 26 minutes. I think we've seen that in each of the last two games. But he's a points and threes sort of a guy. He can get hot. They're not going to just eliminate him from the rotation, so he's useful enough. And then the next one you go to, and I don't like recommending Gary Trent Jr., but I'm going to recommend Gary Trent Jr. With the absences in Milwaukee, he's getting 25 minutes off the bench, and you can get 3 threes and 13 points. It is always risky to look at Gaz Trent, but I think that we're in a spot where it's not a bad situation to consider him. For assists and steals, again, it is risky. It is a back-to-back. Alvarado's had some injury problems. But if CJ is out, I think that he plays enough to be useful for assists and steals, Jose Alvarado. But I could be wrong, easily. Kevin Huerter, again, the security there for him is solid. I've got Chuma Okeke there. He's not an assist guy, he's a steals guy. And with Brissett maybe not playing, and Yabusele maybe not playing, and other guys definitely not playing, I think that Okeke, but I hate to do it. I hate to consider him, but I am considering him. Michael Conley is there, who should come back after sitting the last game where we had that situation when Joe Ingles started the last game for the family reasons. Conley is an assist and steals guy. That's fine. I'm putting AJ Johnson there. It's the Wizards. I don't know what they're going to do, and they're playing Toronto. It could be, by all hands on deck, I mean the reverse. Everyone that's bad getting minutes. And Johnson's at least getting 20 minutes a night. It's shaky. It's up and down. They don't have guys like Poole or Middleton or Smart on the injury report, but that doesn't mean they play 20 minutes. They might play 12. They might play 17. This Wizards game, you think you've been annoyed by the Tristan Vukcevic or the Justin Champagny spot, you're going to get annoyed at this one too. This is going to be one of the worst as well. Just be aware they and Philadelphia will not want to win another game for the rest of the season. Everyone else has got similar motivations, but these teams are locked in for what they need. There is absolutely no reason they want to win games. They want to lose at every opportunity. Both teams, Washington and Philadelphia. So we'll see. Who else have I got on that list? Jamal Shed is the last one. Even though I think Quickly could play, doesn't mean he plays big minutes, and Shed should be able to get 21, 22 minutes anyway. And there's just not many guys who can get 6 assists and 2 steals in 21 minutes, which Shed can do. So I don't mind having him in that position. Boards and blocks, we're going to the bigs. Yeah, is it risky to have Kala Makovic there? A little bit, yeah. Because I don't know what happens with Zion. I don't know what happens with Olynyk. I don't know what happens with Misi. But there's enough risk that all 3 could be out. All 3 could play. I don't know. Now, then all of them were, not all of them. Olynyk played on Sunday, but the other 2 didn't. And Makovic played 16 minutes because of fouls. And that can just happen. That can just happen. I've got Kai Jones there. Davis shouldn't be playing. So Jones should be able to get his 25, 26 and be really strong. With maybe no Aaron Gordon and almost certainly no Nikola Jokic, Peyton Watson's going to do more. He could get 4 blocks. He could have 7 rebounds. He's going to have to do more. Chuma Okeke, that name keeps coming up and I hate it, but it's there. Day'Ron Sharpe, whose minutes are very limited at the moment, but in 18 minutes, 6 rebounds, 2 blocks, maybe. And then Luke Cornett, with the assumption that Al Horford is out on Monday. I don't think the Porzingis will miss both, but maybe. But if Horford is out, Cornett is going to need to do more in that spot as well. Lastly, we'll look at percentages, and it's a lot of the names we've mentioned already. For field goals, we can go to Cornett, we can go to Kai Jones, we can go to Kala Makovic. Risks associated in many spots here. And for free throws, these guys aren't as risky. Mike Conley, Max Christie, and Richard Council IV. That is a daily look-ahead preview show. If you think these shows are weird at the moment, the level of uncertainty is going to amplify. Wait till we get to the final week of the season. It's going to be crazy. Hit the thumb on the video. Shout out to anyone suffering through tuberculosis. Give a thumb, give a comment. Subscribe if you haven't. I don't know why you would still be here if you haven't done that, but hit that subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.